behind you. Look behind you. Okay. Is that a fossil?
Hello, I'm Jamie Fischer. I'm the research director here at White Memorial Conservation Center. We have a little bit of recent activity out here on Moulthrop Brook. So back in October we had our big snowstorm, early snowstorm, and it caused the trees to blow over and bend down because of all the heavy snow. Well, the beavers are taking full advantage of this new opportunity, and they're just going to town. It's like a great big corn cob for them. You can see they're just going after, they're eating a portion of the tree. They're not actually eating the wood or the bark. They're going after the layer between the bark and the wood. And that is the cambium layer that has a lot of neat, nutritious kinds of food in there, and there's lots of fluid as well. And as you can see, when you take a closer look, you can actually see where their incisors go and eat in sort of fine rows, almost like you would eat a corn on the cob. They just nibble, nibble, nibble. Nibble, nibble. Here's a skull. Looks like how this works. So this is a beaver skull. Beavers are mammals, and they're rodents, which means that they have special adaptations in their teeth as well as other portions of their body. But we typically identify rodents by having very large incisors, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, a very large gap between the incisors and the molars. We refer to that gap as the diastema, and then we have all these molars in here that help grind the food down. So the incisors act like chisels, and these molars act like grinders. And that's sort of how that whole portion fits together. You can see from the side view that there are some really large muscles that need to move this really large jaw so that they can actually bite through essentially what is wood, but it's live wood, and that's what they're eating. And they have 3 large muscles that they use to move that jaw. A lot of people don't realize that the teeth on beavers, the outer portion of the teeth, the enamel, is stained yellow or orange, while the inside of the teeth, the inside of the jaws, are white. So that's the dentine. And dentine is softer than enamel, so when the teeth come down on top of each other, they end up rubbing against each other and forming really sharp chisels. The great thing about this is that another adaptation that beavers have is that their incisors are always growing. They continuously grow. And as a result, they always have to chew down and keep those teeth kind of filed down, but at the same time really sharp. You can actually see where those teeth will come down into the wood. And see how they match up. Let's see here. There's a pair right there. You can see there's a pair. And it just chisels right down through. You can actually identify, when you look at the teeth marks a little closer, so the next time you go to a beaver chewing tree, you can see where their jaw came through versus where their top teeth are, and you can see how they would orient their body. It's obvious that they're orienting their body here by sitting or laying in the water, sitting on the ice, and chewing on the live tree. It's kind of neat how all that sort of, it's always cycling, always recycling through here. Nothing goes to waste out here. So we can see that they're actually working this end of the tree a little differently. They're working their way down from that hole underneath the tree in the ice. They're working their way this way. We can tell that because the color of the wood is darker where it's older, and it's lighter where it's fresher. We can also tell by looking at all this material, all these chips. This is all mostly it's all bark and lichen. So again, they're only eating the inside of the bark and the living layer of the tree. They're not eating the bark itself. They're just peeling that off, and they're trying to get to that living layer, and that's what they live on. And again, you can see their teeth marks really nicely in here. Little chisels. It's like little chisel gouges. Little gouge chisels that just peel that layer off, and that way they can eat it. But they're staying real close to where they keep the ice open. That way if a coyote or some other predator happens to walk by, they can quickly jump right back down into the hole. And so they'll keep that area open so that they can get easy access, and relatively easy access back to the hole. Easy access to the food and easy access back to the hole. So here we are. This is where the beavers, this is where they live. They live in a lodge. They build this. They take trees and shrubs and things from around the marsh, and they build that lodge. They pile it on with layers of mud and sticks. And there's a ventilation shaft that goes right down through the center of it. It gives them some entrances out underneath the water. And you can always see where they're building up dams so that the water stays high, so that those entrances are always sheltered. Very important species, beavers. The main reason why is, if we look around, we can see that there are other species that benefit. These wood duck boxes, or duck boxes in general, are a good sign of that. So there's ducks. We've got bat houses for bats. Wide variety of other species that live in here, between reptiles and amphibians. This area is largely contributed to the flooding and vegetation management that the beavers do.
Is that snake poisonous?
I don't know what kind of snake.
It says yellow.